Hello and welcome to my continuation into the Fabled lands. I last left off with our adventurer, William Cartwright, a mage who has recently left Marlock City for the second time and briefly visited the Shador tour again to see what was going on at the beach. After ignoring the siren's call, he decided to officially leave it, perhaps forever, and just finally head towards Trefoley. Trefoley turned out to be a burned down town, in the process of being rebuilt, so for now there was nothing for him to do there, which is why he continued onward to Yellowport City, where he currently resides. He's currently poking around the city looking for any quests before continuing his adventure north towards the Blessed Springs. The last thing he did in the previous episode was visit the Merchants Guild, where he picked up a quest to potentially take out a Rat King in the sewers. And that is where we left off. Let's head back to Yellowport. Okay, so the last thing I did was visit the Merchants Guild. So the next thing on the list is to explore the city by day or by night. But in Marlock City there were multiple things you could do when you explored the city. So I think I'm going to go ahead and visit the temples first, and then explore the rest of the city. Well, I guess temples and the tavern. So let's visit the Gold Dust Tavern first. 506. The Gold Dust Tavern is a plush inn beside the city gates. The tavern costs you 1 shard a day. Each day you spend here, you can recover 1 stamina point if injured, up to the limit of your normal unwounded stamina score. Well, fortunately, I haven't taken a hit in the game so far. If you want to spend a further 3 shards buying drinks all around at the bar, and listen for rumors, turn to 331. Otherwise, turn to 10. Okay, so just like the last tavern, if I spend a total of 4, something else could happen. However, I am shardless at the moment. Kind of figured that would be the case, but I wanted to be certain before moving on. So, for now, let's just move on to the Temple of Maka. 141. The Temple of Maka, the terrible goddess of disease and famine, is a large underground chamber accessible via an ornate entrance in the middle of the Plaza of the Gods, where all the temples stand in Yellowport. Down below, the walls are bare earth. The ceiling is covered in roots and growing plants, for Maka is also the goddess of the harvest, who must be kept happy, else disease and famine will strike the people, their crops and their livestock, bringing ruin to all. Sounds like a pagan god to me. Options are to become an initiate, which usually costs shards. Renouncing worship, which costs less shards? I don't remember how that process works. Okay, becoming an initiate costs 50 shards. Renouncing my faith costs 15. Let's see what sort of blessing she provides. Although I can't really pay for it. I just out of curiosity at this point. 481. If you are an initiate, it costs only 10 shards to purchase Maka's Blessing. A non-initiate must pay 20 shards. Cross off the money and mark Immunity to Disease and Poison in the Blessing box of your adventure sheet. I feel something like that might be helpful against, the Rat King of the sewers. So, add 20 shards to the shopping list. So I gotta accumulate 180 before I can go on this quest. I might want to look into cheesing my way into getting into that lantern first, so I don't lose any money. The blessing works by allowing you to ignore any one occasion when you would normally suffer from disease or poison. For instance, the venomous bite of a snake. Sorry, it ended right there. I've read it as if it was going to continue. When you use the blessing, cross it off your adventure sheet. You can have only 1 immunity to disease and poison blessing at any time. Once it is used up, you can return to any branch of the Temple of Maka to buy a new one. Something to consider. I can also ask to be cured of a disease or poison, so you don't have to buy the blessing. The blessing's there to prevent it if it should occur. Alright, that's where they hit you with the money. It costs 75 shards to be cured. Only 20 if you pay in advance. And of course, these things cost less if you're an initiate. But I'm not devout to any one god. Not yet, anyway. Effect Town Center. Time to visit the Temple of Elnir. 316. The Temple of Elnir is an imposing edifice of gray stone, inlaid with yellow marbling. Elnir is the god of the sky and of kingship. He is the ruler of the gods.
His dreams are the clouds before a storm,
says a passing priest. I can become an initiate, I can renounce worship, I can seek the blessing. His blessing is for a charisma check, I believe. In fact, he may have been in one of the temples in Marlock. Yes, he was one of the ones I visited in Marlock. In fact, the next temple is also one I visited. The Temple of Alvir and Valmir. But it goes to a different page, so I'll read the description they have for it here in Yellowport. 220. The Temple of Alvir and Valmir is built like an upside-down galleon. Alvir and Valmir are brother and sister, king and queen of the land beneath the waters, masters of the sea. Their servants and soldiers are the souls of the drowned. And when seas are rough and storm-tossed, sailors say that Alvir and Valmir are arguing again. So yes, this one should be good for when I do set sail. It can help me out there. If I have the code word anchor, which I do not. Yep. 531. Otherwise, you notice a sign on the door which says, "Wanted, brave adventurer, apply to the high priest." Hey, another quest. Probably going to be a quest where that requires me to go out to sea, would be my guess. So I can become an initiate, I can renounce worship, seek a blessing, which should have something to do with storms. That would be the blessing safety from storms. It would work like the disease one. So yeah, let's go ahead and talk to the high priest. 411. The high priest tells you that the golden net of the twin gods has been stolen. Oh my. An artifact is missing. The repulsive ones. Okay, I don't think I'm going to be able to do this quest. It involves that creature I ran away from. The repulsive ones have taken it to their place beneath the sea in the sunken city of Zaisundra. I'm gonna put that on screen somewhere so you can see how it's spelled. But apparently there is a city underneath the water. Probably a city of merfolk. Or a city of those repulsive squid beings, whatever they were. The repulsive ones worship the fish god Owens. They worship the fish god Owens. I think I said it right the first time. Who struggles with Alvir and Valmir for control of the sea. We must have that golden net, or the repulsive ones will use it against us. If you return it to us, we will reward you, says the high priest. The sunken city lies under the coastal waters off the Shadar Tor. I know that place. I'm not going back there. If you take the mission, gain the code word anchor. I'll take the code word. I'm not going there. Although I wonder if it'll be different now that I have the code word. I'm not going there. When you're finished, go back to 220. Yeah, that was the last thing there. And let's check out the last temple in town. The Temple of Tirnei? Tirnei, maybe. Well, let's check it out while I butcher some more words in the process. The Temple of Tirnei, the god of war, is built in the shape of a spear with a long, pillared nave and an altar at the far end. Two massive stone warriors guard its gates. Trinir is depicted here as an insensate spirit of war, a blood-drenched warrior with the head of a maddened jaguar. Can become an initiate, announce worship, seek blessing. Let's see here. Since he's the god of war, I imagine his is going to be a combat-themed blessing. Non-initiate must pay 25 shards. Mark combat in the blessing box of your venture sheet. The blessing works by allowing you to try again when you make a failed combat roll. It's good for only one reroll. When you use the blessing, cross it off, yada yada. So yeah. It's combat one. Oh, you can make resurrection agreements here. This is the only temple in town where you can do that. And the guild was the only one in the last city. Wonder what their prices are. It is 800 if you're not an initiate. I think the other one was only 600. Huh. Well then, good thing I already have one. And it doesn't hurt to have another so I can choose where to come back. It's a lot of money. And I'm not exactly rolling in the dough. Okay, so I'm done there. The only one I believe is of interest at the moment is the blessing from Maka for that disease and poison. And maybe if I ever come into additional shards, I could probably get the combat one for when it happens. But yes, that is all the temples here. Let's explore let's just do day. Start with day and then do night. 302. You can explore the Poor Quarter, the harbor area, or the area around the palace. Yeah, multiple options. Let's just start with the Poor Quarter. For a sec I thought it took me back to Gambler's Den. It's on the same page. Yes, I have that one marked. 93. If you have the code word Azure, nope. Turn to 359 immediately. If not, read on. A mad beggar, covered in sores and grime, accosts you in the streets.
"Ho, noble one, aid me for the love of the gods,"
he rants, frothing at the mouth and gesticulating wildly.
"I need coin to eat, food to spend."
Oh, he's being mad. I thought I read that wrong for a sec. Okay, let's try this again.
"I need coin to eat, food to spend, and blessings to wear."
I can choose to ignore him and return to the city center. I can give him 5 shards. Unfortunately, I have none. Not even for myself. Good thing food is not something you need to buy every now and then. But I have the third option to bless him. So, since I don't really want to ignore him, let's try blessing him. Even though I'm sure it's going to require a sanctity roll. And I suck at that. 632. Make a sanctity roll at difficulty 12. At difficulty 12. Oh my god. I have to roll max. I have to get a 6 on both dice to do this. Oh geez, he needs divine help. Well, orange and blue, let's fail this roll. There's no way these dice are going to give me that. I got a 4 and a 5. So, 9 for a total of 10. I have failed a check. Yeah, if I ever do come back, because there wasn't a tick saying I couldn't come back. If I ever do come back, I need more than just a sanctity blessing, because a reroll is not going to salvage the situation. I need like a bonus, or I don't know. This is not something Franklin can help with. Not without divine help himself. 125. You mumble a prayer to the gods, but you're not sure if you got the right ritual. Probably because I don't have a god. That's it. It's because I'm not faithful right now. The beggar thanks you and babbles.
Yes,
It's not the voice I gave him.
Yes, a new dablet for an old beggar. I shall wear it with pride.
He wanders off, stomping passerbys to show off what he thinks are his new clothes. Poor old fool. Yep, he did say it would be blessings for clothes, as clothes. So that's all I can do there for now. Maybe in the future I can help the poor old man, either with money or a blessing. Alright, let's go back to exploring by day, and head to the harbor area. 587. While taking a stroll through the busy harbor area, you overhear a conversation between 2 merchants, and learn the most profitable trading routes to be seen between Sakura and Golnir. Record the code word Almanac. Wait, yeah, almanac. I think I've seen that code word somewhere along my adventure. But now I have it. Okay. Turn to 10 and choose again. Oh, that was short and resourceful. Hopefully that'll come in handy again someday. I do not remember where I last heard that. And let's check out the last area by day, and that is around the palace. 277. A patrol of militiamen, mercenaries in the pay of the dictator, General Grievous Moloch, stopped you in the street. If you have the code word assassin, I do not. If not, but you are the protector of Sakura, they greet you politely and salute. You return to the city center without incident, turn to 10. Otherwise, they decide you will be arrested unless you pay 15 shards as taxes. If you refuse or don't have 15 shards, turn to 538. If you hand over the money, cross it off, and the militiamen leave you alone, turn to... Oh, damn it. I'm going to jail. That sucks. I should have stayed away from the palace. 538. Refusing to pay your taxes, eh? Says their leader. That's a crime for sure. They close in around you. You'll have to think fast. Make a charisma roll at difficulty 11. Charisma's a 2. Jeez, okay. I have to beat the number, correct? Okay, how about... These two. Woo! A 6 and a 3, that's 9. Plus my charisma, that makes an 11. I think I have to beat the number though. To use an ability, roll 2 dice, add your score, and the ability to succeed, you must roll higher than the difficulty of the task. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 for charisma. I meet, therefore I fail. 157. You try to prove your loyalty to the new regime, but they don't believe a word of it. They beat you into unconsciousness. Great. And leave you lying in the gutter. They rob you of all the money you had, but leave your possessions untouched. Well, thankfully for that, because all I have are my possessions. So, I don't lose any shards, but I take 3... Yeah, I was about to get to that. You come round with only 3 stamina points. Oh, shit. I'm injured. I need 6 shards to fix that. I don't have any shards. Oh my gosh. Well, this sucks. Screw the guards, man. This sucks. I hate the new regime. They never hurt me in the old regime. So, I want to explore the city by night, but now I'm hurt. So I need money. But when I have money, I tend to lose it fast. Well, not that I've had a lot of money. Well, there was that time I had like 50, right? And then I spent some of it and lost the rest. I think I'm gonna need to go pick up that lantern. Just like walk back and forth on the route to get the lantern. Because the other option there is that they steal money from me or nothing happens. They can't steal money from me if I don't have any money. So I can get the lantern, I can either sell it or something else I'm holding for a bit of money so I can try to heal myself. Something to consider, but how do I continue? Being an adventurer is hard. If the guards assaulted me in the daytime, I can't imagine what they'll do to me at nighttime. And if I had to guess based on my experience in this game so far, nighttime probably involves things more along the lines of, well, the code word assassin kept popping up. I'd imagine there could be something linked to thievery, as ideally you'd steal at nighttime. I just don't see anything good happening by exploring night, especially when I'm at 3 hit points. So, I need to get health back. I can only get health back if I heal. The best way to heal is go to the tavern, but to do that I need to spend money or have my own house. I need shards, man. Looking at the map here, if I leave the town, go back to Treefoley, try and get the lantern for free, and basically Coming back to Yellowport, that'll put another tick in the box, but it's what I'm going to have to do before I can even consider moving on to the Blessed Spring, because, you know, I'm hurt. Another option is you can just try and head straight for the Blessed Springs, and maybe this dust can result in some sort of reward. But I could easily die along the way. Being injured sucks, man. Okay, I need healing, and which means I need money. And I know I said I wasn't going to do this, but desperate times call for cheese in it. Let's get that lantern so I can sell it, so I can heal myself. Because the only other things I can sell are my sword and my armor, and I'd rather not make things harder on myself by giving up my defenses, as small as they may be. So we're officially leaving Yellowport. After all, I need to at least accomplish something in this video, aside from almost dying by just looking around the place. 233. If there is a tick in the box, which there is, turn to 412. Okay, that's the warrior part. 412. You are on the cobbled road between Yellowport and Trefoley. You meet a few merchants and pilgrims, but all in all, it is an uneventful journey. Head to Trefoley. 250. The city of Trefoley is a terrifying vision of apocalyptic destruction. It had once been a thriving crossroads town, but now it is a burnt-out husk. It was almost raised from the ground. Yada yada, I've already read this. If you have the code word amends, which I do not, otherwise there's nothing but ashes here. Therefore I need to head towards Marlock City. Or was it between Shadar Tor? Whatever, I'm going to Marlock City. 377. The road between Marlock and Trefoley is well maintained, with regular guard posts. The Sakoran are nothing but efficient. Roll a die. Let's try this transparent blue one. That's a 3. Uneventful journey. Okay. Oh, but this was not the one I thought, but I could find a sword here, and at least then I wouldn't be cheesing out as much. Because the sword isn't worth as much, and therefore I could just sell the sword since I don't need 2. So that's something to consider. But, yep, back in Marlock I am. So it must have been on the road to the Shadar Tor. I am going to at least accomplish one thing before I end this video, even though my timer's already gone off. I'm going to get that lantern. Okay, so it must have been the passage to Shadar Tor. 166. You are on the road between Marlock City and the Shadar Tor. Along most of the length of the road, a thin sliver of a shanty town has grown up. Tents and lean toes line the way. You find out that the people living here are refugees from Trefoley. The city was burnt to the ground during the recent civil war, in which the old king was overthrown. Roll a die. I need a 5 or a 6. This orange one's been doing pretty well for me. That's a 4. Which means nothing happens. I already feel bad for trying this. This is a one-time thing I'm doing, by the way. I'm not gonna like cheese my way going back and forth to accumulate lanterns to make money. No, that's not very adventurous. I need a little money, and I can get an item. Back 35, let's start our tour. Let's head to Marlock City. Roll die, the green one. A 5. Took me 2 additional attempts. You find a lantern by the side of the road. Because it's in bold, I can pick it up. In the end, I end up at Shadar Tor. That's the way I choose to go. I'm gonna head back to Trefoley. 602, you're traveling the road between the Shadar Tor and Trefoley. You pass a convoy of masons, carpenters, and builders heading for Trefoley, with the escort of the Sakoran soldiers. Alright, 250. I already read this during this episode. I read half of it. Don't have the code word. Nothing here but rubble. Head to Yellowport again. 233. You are on the cobbled road between Yellowport and Trefoley. Oh wait, no I'm not. Well, that's the soldier event. There's tick marked. 412. You're on the cobbled road between Yellowport and Trefoley. You meet a few merchants. Seems to be nothing eventful here. Nothing to Nothing to negatively impact me or positively boost me. Alright, we are officially back in Yellowport. If you have the code word assassin, I do not. If not, read on. If you just arrived in Yellowport, tick a box. Now we have 2 ticks at the Yellowport. If you have visited the city fewer than or more than 4 times, read on. Okay. So yes, we are back in Yellowport. And this is where I'll be ending today's video. So yes, this episode got hurt officially for the first time. I'm down to 3 hit points out of 9. I cheesed my way to get that lantern, so like I said, I only plan on doing that the one time. I'm not gonna like go back and forth to collect items throughout this game numerous times. I may do it once per item, but I'm not gonna like stockpile lanterns or swords that I can find on the roads. But if you feel that I shouldn't have done that at all, I will go ahead and cross off the lantern on my character sheet for the next video, and we'll see where 3 hit points can get me moving forward. Until then, the plan is to sell the lantern, heal up, and make my way towards the Blessed Springs to see what this yellow dust does. Hopefully it'll help the town, and in a way help me, because I feel like I've had quite a bit of bad luck. Like, there's momentary successes, but hasn't been great. But yeah, I'm still enjoying it. Just let me know what you think about my choices. I am more than willing to undo the whole lantern thing. I don't know. Just thanks for watching. Until next time, have a pleasant journey.